Hello, and welcome to Easy Story Studio. Today, we have a fun A2 level English story for you. It is about two friends and a mysterious old map. Listen carefully to improve your English skills. Let's begin the adventure. Leo and Maya were very good friends. They lived in a quiet town near the sea. They loved solving mysteries and reading books together. It was a cloudy Saturday morning in October. The two friends decided to visit the local antique shop. The shop was full of interesting old things. The owner of the shop was Mr. Clark. He was an old man with white hair and glasses. He always had a warm smile for the children. Leo walked around the dark and dusty shop. He looked at old clocks and strange wooden boxes. Maya looked at the beautiful paintings on the walls. Suddenly, Leo saw a heavy book on a high shelf. The book had a dark red leather cover. It looked very old and extremely mysterious. "Mr. Clark, can I look at this book?" asked Leo. Mr. Clark nodded his head and helped Leo take it down. The book was very heavy in Leo's hands. Maya walked over to look at the old book. They carefully opened the dusty pages together. The paper was yellow and smelled like dry leaves. There were no words printed on the first page. It was completely blank and looked very plain. But then a piece of paper fell out of the book. The paper fell onto the wooden floor of the shop. Maya quickly bent down and picked it up. She looked at the paper with wide, surprised eyes. "Leo, look at this piece of paper," she whispered. "It is not just a normal piece of paper. It looks like a very old hand-drawn map." Leo looked closely at the drawing in Maya's hands. The map had black ink lines and small pictures. It showed the beach, the forest, and a strange X.
"Where did you find that?" asked Mr. Clark curiously. The children showed him the hidden map from the book. The old man looked very surprised to see it. "I bought that book many years ago," said Mr. Clark. "I never knew there was a map inside it. You two children can keep the map and the book." Leo and Maya thanked the kind shop owner. They walked out of the shop with their new treasure. They were very excited to study the map carefully. They went to Maya's house and sat in the kitchen. They put the map on the large kitchen table. They used a magnifying glass to see the small details. The map showed their own town from 50 years ago. They recognized the shape of the long sandy beach. They also saw the old lighthouse near the dark rocks. "The X is in the Whispering Woods," said Maya. The Whispering Woods was a thick forest behind a town. People said the wind there sounded like a whispering voice. "We should go there and find the treasure," Leo said bravely. Maya agreed, but they needed to prepare for the adventure first. They decided to pack their backpacks with useful things. Leo packed a strong flashlight and some extra batteries. He also brought a small metal shovel for digging. Maya packed sandwiches, cold water, and a small first aid kit. They put on their warm jackets and comfortable hiking boots. They told Maya's mother they were going for a walk. They did not tell her about the secret treasure map. The two friends rode their bicycles to the edge of town. The sky was getting darker, but it was not raining yet. They parked their bicycles near a large wooden fence. They stepped into the dark and quiet Whispering Woods. The trees were very tall, and their leaves were orange and brown. The wind blew softly, making a strange whispering sound. Leo held the map in one hand and the flashlight in the other. Maya walked close behind him and looked around carefully. They followed a narrow dirt path into the deep forest. "The map says we must find a bridge," said Leo. They walked for 20 minutes until they heard moving water. They found a small wooden bridge over a fast river. The bridge looked old and a little bit dangerous. They crossed it slowly, one step at a time. They felt relieved when they reached the other side safely. After the bridge, the map showed 3 large gray rocks. The children walked for 10 more minutes into the woods. Suddenly, Maya pointed her finger at some tall grass. "Look over there, Leo," she shouted with excitement. There were 3 enormous gray rocks sitting in a circle. They ran towards the rocks with big smiles on their faces. "We are getting very close to the X now," Leo said. He looked at the map one more time to be sure. "We need to walk 50 steps to the north from here." Leo used a compass to find the north direction. He counted his steps out loud as he walked slowly. Maya followed him and counted the steps in her head. 48, 49, 50, Leo said, and stopped walking. They were standing in front of a giant ancient oak tree. The tree had thick branches and deep roots in the ground. "The map shows a big tree next to the X," said Maya. "The treasure must be buried under this old oak tree. Let's start digging with the shovel right now." Leo took the small metal shovel from his backpack. He started to dig in the soft, dark earth near the roots. Maya used a strong stick to help him move the dirt. They dug for a long time and got very dirty. Their hands were tired, but they did not want to stop. They wanted to solve the mystery of the old map.
Suddenly, the shovel hit something hard in the ground. It made a loud, metallic clinking sound. Leo and Maya looked at each other with wide, excited eyes. Leo carefully moved the rest of the dirt away. He saw a small, dirty metal box hidden in the hole. The box was covered in rust and wet earth. They pulled the heavy box out of the deep hole. It had a small keyhole on the front, but there was no key. The lock was completely broken because of the rust. Leo used his shovel to pry the top open gently. The box opened with a loud creaking noise. The children gasped when they saw what was inside. Inside the box, there were many shiny silver coins. The coins were very old and had strange faces on them. There was also a folded letter wrapped in clear plastic. Maya carefully took the letter out of the plastic cover. She unfolded the paper slowly so it would not tear. She read the letter out loud to her friend. "To the person who finds this box," the letter began, "my name is Captain Thomas, and I hid these coins in 1940. I wanted to keep them safe during the Great War." The letter explained that Thomas was a sailor from their town. He loved the Whispering Woods and played there as a boy. He hoped someone honest would find his hidden treasure one day. "This is a real piece of history," Leo said in amazement. "We cannot keep these silver coins for ourselves. We must take them to the local history museum." Maya completely agreed with Leo's smart idea. They carefully closed the metal box and put it in Maya's backpack. They filled the hole with dirt so the forest looked normal again. They walked back through the forest very quickly. They crossed the old wooden bridge and found their bicycles. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky pink and purple. They rode their bikes directly to the town museum. The museum director, Mrs. Evans, was just closing the front doors. "Wait, Mrs. Evans, we have something important," shouted Leo. The children showed the old map, the box, and the letter. Mrs. Evans could not believe her eyes when she saw the coins. She invited them inside the warm museum to talk. "This is an incredible discovery," said the museum director. "Captain Thomas was a famous sailor from our town's history. We have been looking for his personal items for many years." Mrs. Evans called the town mayor and the local newspaper. The mayor arrived quickly and thanked the children for their honesty. He told them they were brave and clever explorers. A photographer from the newspaper took their picture. Leo and Maya stood next to the open metal box. They smiled brightly for the camera with the old map. The next day, their picture was on the front page of the newspaper. Everyone in the town read the story about the smart children. Their parents were incredibly proud of their amazing adventure. The museum created a special display for the treasure. They cleaned the silver coins so they looked bright and new. They put the map and the letter behind thick glass. There was a small gold plaque next to the display. It said, "Discovered by Leo and Maya, the town's best explorers." The children visited the museum every weekend to see it. Mr. Clark from the antique shop was also very happy. He was glad he gave the dusty old book to Leo. He even gave them a special old compass as a gift. Leo and Maya became famous in their small town. But they did not care about the fame or the attention. They only cared about solving puzzles and having fun together. They learned that history was not just in boring books. It was hiding in the ground, waiting to be found. They started to look for new mysteries everywhere they went.
One afternoon, they were walking on the sandy beach. Maya saw a strange green bottle washing up on the shore. There was a rolled-up piece of paper inside the bottle. Leo picked up the bottle and looked at Maya. "Do you think it's another map?" he asked with a grin. Maya laughed and pulled the cork out of the bottle. Life in the quiet town was never boring for them anymore. They knew that every day could bring a brand new adventure. They were always ready to explore the unknown together. Their friendship grew stronger with every mystery they solved. They trusted each other and worked together as a perfect team. They were the best mystery hunters in the whole world, and it all started with a simple trip to an antique shop. It started with an old book and a piece of paper. It was truly the greatest adventure of their young lives. Thank you for listening to this story on Easy Story Studio. Did you enjoy the mystery of the old map? If you want to listen to more English stories, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.